Now, I'd like to move on to Mr. Andrew Leal. Are you there, sir?
Hi.
Yeah. So, how did it feel to be known as the first South American to climb Mount Kanchenjunga? So, how was your experience also, sir? Can you share about your experience also in Mount Kanchenjunga?
Yeah, okay. Well, I agree with Simone about everything he talked about Kanchenjunga. Is absolutely, he described very well the place and the mountain. Well, I'm not so experienced as Simone. I have climbed Everest 2 times and Lhotse, Choyu, and after that, Kanchenjunga. I didn't want to be the first, and I don't care about records. I love the mountain. I love climbing, and I went to Kanchenjunga just for a recommendation. My Sherpa, I climbed with a Sherpa. He's a Lakpa Shilin Sherpa who is living in Cambodia. He talked me about the mountain. He said, "Hey, let's go to Kanchenjunga. I've never been there, and it's a beautiful place. In the past, in the very past, used to be like a holy mountain, so no one could climb the mountain. And actually, the Indian people consider it like a holy mountain. So last year, 2019, we were only 4 expeditions there, 2 internationals, 1 Indian, and me as 1 expedition, the Chilean, and myself. And it's weird because it's not like the other mountain that you have more equipment, more people. We were only 30 people on the mountain. And we were just 1 climber and 3 Sherpas just to help with the pixel line. And it was tough. It was a really tough time. It's a remote place. I agree with Simone. I see it's a little dirty. We help with the cleaning the mountain at that time. I'm sure we need to work more on keeping clean, keeping safe also the place for the future generations. And it's a wonderful place. It's very long to climb from just to reach the base camp is a long trekking, and then from base camp to the top is a very long time. I think, and you can correct me, but from the last camp 4 to summit is the longest trekking from all the 14,000. So, as Simone said, you have to be very strong, not just for touching the summit, is for coming back. And what happened last year is some people felt strong, pushed the summit, but they couldn't return. So there were 3 deaths close to the summit. I don't remember, like 6 or 7 people injured. People they got blind. Some of them lost fingers and toes. So it was really a tough time because the mountain requires you have to be very honest with yourself. Are you well prepared for a big mountain like this? As Simone said, K2, Nanga Parbat, and Kanchenjunga are really tough mountains. Not only big mountains, are tough mountains. So you have to be very well prepared, not physically, but also psychologically, because you have to make a decision. I'm in the good position to go up and come down, and it's a beautiful place. I enjoyed a lot. I couldn't celebrate well my summit. Unfortunately, I cannot climb without oxygen because I suffer I have an illness and with my throat, with my trachea. So just for a comment, many years ago, like 15 years ago, I suffered a vocal cord paralysis. I talk with only one vocal cord. So to improve my voice, a doctor put me an implant, and this is very curious, an implant made of Gore-Tex. So he said, you are the only climber in the world who use Gore-Tex inside and outside your body. But the problem was that the Gore-Tex made my throat thinner. So my throat, my trachea is 20% thinner than a normal trachea. So when I asked him, hey doctor, I'm ready for climbing Everest, he said, are you crazy, man? You cannot. It's impossible because the trachea now is thinner. You can talk better, but you cannot breathe normally like the rest of the people. So the only way to do it is using oxygen. So, but even with oxygen, Kanchenjunga was really, really tough for me. And I suffered a lot. I close to the summit, I was thinking I could die, and it was a really like 2 or 3 hours. I was thinking this is my last moment on the earth. So I suggest to the climbers who goes to Kanchenjunga, please take it seriously. It's a really tough mountain, quite technical in some parts. I remember Simone was also in Everest north side. The very close to the summit is very similar to the the first part in North Pole. When you cross the edge on the North Pole after the 8,500, you cross a very difficult part. It's very similar to the summit. So if you experience the summit in Everest, North Pole, you are very well prepared for Kanchenjunga. So because you are going to see something similar. So, but it's a beautiful place, and take it seriously and go on. That's my experience with Kanchenjunga.
You are a successful entrepreneur of Chile who has created a company that today employs a couple of thousands people in Latin America. How have you been able to find a balance between business and mountaineering? What are the challenges that you have faced and how do you tackle with those challenges, sir?
Well, thank you very much for the question. Because I know that for many climbers, one of the big issues is the resources, the money, because climbing is not so cheap. Even when you talk about big mountain and long expeditions. So I became an entrepreneur like 20 years ago. I grown up in a family in Chile, which is from a very small city south of Chile. And my father was an entrepreneur, small entrepreneur. So I always wanted to be like him. Before become an entrepreneur, I worked as an employee for 10 years. I worked hard, saved money, and then I started my company from zero. Just with an idea and with one person. We were two. Well, after almost 20 years, we are almost 2,000 people in the companies. And the secret is the same as I use for climbing. And in my position, many people is in the opposite. Start climbing and then work. For me, I started climbing very young, with 44 years old. So when I'm climbing, most of the climbers are younger than me, and they start with 16, 17, 18 years old. I started with 44. So the secret is passion. If you do everything you do with passion, you reach success. So, and the question is, how do you balance the two words, the word of climbing and entrepreneurship? Is build good teams. I have a beautiful team in my company. So when I go to the mountain, I leave my team, and they take care of the company as when I am on the mountain, because I built also a nice team on the mountain. The Sherpa, the cooker, wherever they go with me on the mountain are beautiful people, and the people who work with me are beautiful people. Everybody takes care of the company. So the secret is build nice and good teams and do the things with passion. And I think this is a common thing between the panelists. Everybody here is passionate on what we do. So that's my secret.
Thank you so much for sharing, sir. Indeed, balancing business and mountaineering at the same time is a top. But as you said that it's a really easy job. You just need to be a good being and have a passion in your work. That's a really good statement, sir. Thank you so much for sharing, sir. Okay, the question is, how can we connect mountaineering and entrepreneurship for you? How can we connect mountaineering and entrepreneurship?
Yeah, look, I used to do some talks, some speeches for two different audiences. I do speeches for kids, which is something I love, and also for adults. And I always say the same. Entrepreneurship is very similar to mountaineering. Mountaineering high mountains, and we are talking about 8,000. The expeditions, every expedition is like a company, has logistic, financial resources, human resources. You have to make a plan, and sometimes you have to face crisis, etc. Entrepreneurship is the same. To build a company is exactly the same. And in fact, my book that I wrote 3 years ago, I'm talking about, the book is The Mountains We Carry Inside. It's about my life, but it's connecting entrepreneurship, how you make a company, using the mountain as an example. Because on the mountain, the goal is the summit. And the company is to reach the plan, the budget of the year. So the way you do it is very similar. You have to manage people, teams, resources, logistics, etc., etc. So the key is, first, that I suggest to the audience is, first, I'm a dreamer. I'm a big dreamer. First, dream big but doing correctly. You have to start, as Simone said, you have to start from the beginning. If you want to climb a big mountain, just start walking. I've seen some people climbing big mountains, 8,000, without climbing a 6,000 before. That is insane. You have to start walking and then hiking and then trekking and then go to the first 7,000 and then go to an 8,000. So with entrepreneurship, it's exactly the same. You cannot compete with Amazon, which is a huge company today, with a small company today. You have to start working on something simple and then growing and growing to be prepared for fighting with a giant. So that is the first key. Doing correctly. The second is make a good plan. And the best plan is when you have plan B and C, not only one plan, plan A, because for sure in business and in the mountain always happens something wrong. So you have to be prepared for something wrong. What are you going to do if, I don't know, if you're lack of oxygen and you need oxygen, if you are lack of gas, if you need to boil water on the mountain, what is your plan B? So in business, you are always challenged to face problems. What are you going to do if something happens wrong? And third, because of you are facing problems always, the obstacles, the problems are always there. You have to be very perseverant. And not because probably it's hard to get money for climbing mountains. People who don't have enough resources, but if you give up very early, so forget about the company. So entrepreneurship and mountaineering face problems very similar. Dream properly, correctly, make plan A, B, C, and be resilient and personal. Because we are humans are faced to challenge that you don't know. This situation today, the pandemic in the world, no one imagined like 6 months ago. No one on this earth was prepared for being locked down so much time. So and nobody knows what is going on the next 6 months. So, hey, I invite the people to, be prepared for something unknown, be prepared for plan B and C, and please stay safe and dream big always. I will end with something. In Chinese, the word crisis, which has 2 syllables, the word crisis means opportunity. So this crisis, this big crisis that we face today in the world, also is a big opportunity to think about the important things, family, take care of environment. These are the important things today. And of course, I love Nepal, and I will come back soon as I can to climb another mountain and with my people there, because I have a big family in Pamboche and in Kambandu. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
I love the mountain, so talking about mountain is one of my passions. I want to point 2 things. First, if you are a mountain lover, if you love something if you love a person, if you love your kids, the wife, and the mountain, take care of the kids, take care of your wife, take care of the mountain. Be consistent with something you say. So PK said, we know a lot of mountain lovers. So, hey, I ask mountain lovers, if you love the mountain, please take care of the mountain. And as Simone said now, act. Don't say words, act. And second, because of the moment we face now in the world, crisis is an opportunity. So as an entrepreneur, I am always looking for opportunities. Every time I see a problem, I see an opportunity to solve. So that's the two issues I wanted to say.
Such a wonderful thing you said. If you love someone or something, care of it. It's such a great idea to do so. Be consistent, and every problem has its own opportunity. Thank you so much for sharing this, sir.